Good evening. Good evening, everybody. 7 o'clock.
There we go.
All right, I'll try again. All right, good evening, everyone. Okay, good evening, everyone. All right, I'd like to call the open meeting open and remind everyone that we have quite a few people on Zoom tonight, so if you would keep the chatter down so they can hear as well. Come on in.
Yeah, there's,
Okay. We got chairs up in there, John. Good evening. All right.
there's some more chairs in that closet right there. Yeah. I just pop a new road right in front of them. Plenty of people naturally been migrant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it is amazing. Okay. All right.
All right, back in.
Okay. All right, we're called to order, certify a quorum.
Yes.
Yes. All right. First off, thank you guys for coming tonight. Appreciate the everyone coming out to participate. Second on the agenda is ratify approval of the meeting minutes from November 3rd, November 17th, December 1st, and December 12th. Is there any changes? No. All approved? Approved. All right. Next is ratify or approval and ratify actions of the board. Any changes to that? No.
No.
All approved? Approved. And then president's report. That would be me. It's going to be short because I don't want to take the thunder away from the committees and all the hard work that they've done. So first off, I want to welcome everyone and hope everyone had a great holiday season. Since the last open meeting, the board has been working diligently over the past few months, collaborating closely with the committees to address their needs and explore new ideas to improve our community. Pool repairs have been confirmed and will be completed prior to the scheduled opening. In addition, new pool furniture has been approved and is expected to arrive before, or not expected, it will arrive before the pool opens. Community access remains an ongoing topic that the current board is actively addressing, along with several other items that will be discussed later in today's meeting. So again, I want to thank everyone for their continued input and support as we work together to make Oyster Harbor the best place to live. So next is the treasurer's report.
Okay, I hope everybody that came in got a copy of the December statement up here at the front. Basically, you can see right there, we just finished the December statement. Currently, we have the 1.675 and 152,000 in our savings. And you can see, obviously, we came into almost $21,000 under budget for what we had planned out for the 2025 year. The one thing that we try to do is try to get the reports up to you ASAP. In our past management company, obviously we were finishing, for example, the month of September. Sometimes it would take 5 to 6 weeks to get that report from that management company. Once the board actually got it, read it, went over it, documented it, and approved it, and then we got it published, sometimes that was 2, unfortunately, sometimes 3 months delayed from the activity. But what we're trying to do now with our current management company is they have gone out of their way. Obviously, we have a primary person, Paul, that you've probably met up here. He works directly with Christy, who's the owner of the company. Once the report gets finished at the end of the month, just like, for example, in December, they immediately got the board the report on January the 8th, just 8 days after the closing of the month. We went ahead instantly. I worked on the whole entire draft, put the whole entire plans together to analyze it. I got it to the entire board on the 9th, that Friday, the very next day. The board had a meeting at that point on the 12th, on that Monday, but we had the whole weekend to review it, and we actually approved it. It was ready to go. So at that point, it was ready to be published, and that's where we try and get the information on the website for you to see instantly. And obviously, that's why we're keeping the copies of it here for you as well. We really want to keep everybody in this whole community up to date on everything there is. One thing I am going to bring up, and many of you might already know this, but I want to explain because we had actually in the last couple of weeks, I've had 2 different questions concerning when you look at our financials, you see that we have what we have in our checking account and the reserve. And people said, oh, well, we have that money in the ARC. When we look on the spreadsheet of what Cam is showing, it shows up as the $2 million some dollars. But we have to understand that the ARC deposit is for new constructions that are happening. Out of that, yes, the builders are paying, for example, the $10,500, of which $2,000 of that is ours, Orchard Harbor's HOA. Of that $2,000, $750 is written to the architect to actually give approval. The other $1,250 is actually deposited into our account. Now, the remaining $8,500 is broken down into 2 different categories, okay? One is actually the refundable road impact deposit. So in case while they're doing construction, if they're doing any damage to the swale, if they're doing any damage to the road itself, they're responsible for paying that. And that's what that security deposit is for. The other is the $3,500, and that is for the actual ground itself. And that's working after hours, for example, if they get fined, if they're cutting down trees that were marked to never be cut down, but they did, that's where that deposit is done. But that $8,500, even though it is shown in our account like a security deposit, if the builder has no violations and nothing is damaged during that process, that $8,500 goes directly back to the builder or the homeowner that had to put that money down. So it's not income. So that's when you look at our financial statements, you see exactly what is in our checking account, you see exactly what's in the reserve, and that's what we try to really break down on the cover sheet. And you can see on the December cover sheet, you can see total combined right there is the $1,675,152. Separately, over on the other side is the actual ARC totals. So again, those are deposits for all the homes that are going on under construction right now in the neighborhood. So don't ever think that the ARC funds are actually part of our forever keep money, because it's not. Hope that makes sense. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask me across the board. The next thing we're going to bring up real quick is the 2026 year. Obviously, the our dues currently for the 2026 is the 1821. And of course, we started to receive, some deposits back in December. So if you actually go back on our website and you look at the November report, you can see there's a slight little increase from the November checking to the December checking. That was because we had like 5 different residents actually pay their dues in December. So it had to be shown that way. But currently, obviously, all the dues are actually due by the end of this month. So there's 5 different ways we try to make it so easy for you to actually pay the dues. So obviously, Paul, who's property management company, he's up here every Monday and every Thursday from 10 to 4. So obviously, you can come up and bring a check. Now, just today, for example, he did have an emergency and he could not be here on site. But again, things like that do happen. But he's going to be here tomorrow to make up for it. The second option, if you can't be up here to drop it off to him personally, well, we have a mailbox right across our main entrance right here. You can definitely put the envelope and the check in there. He checks that mailbox every morning when he gets here on Mondays and Thursdays. The other option, you could definitely go ahead and just drive right down to their main office, which is in Ocean Isle Beach. So right at the main entrance where the bridge is going over to Ocean Isle, just continue on that road like you're going to Sunset Beach. And they are just right past the big boat dealership on the left-hand side. And you'll see Cam Ocean Isle Beach. They're there Monday through Friday. So you can definitely just go and drop off a check right then and there. Not a problem. The other option that you do have is you can actually go to their website and you can actually log on and create an account. And that way you can go ahead and just pay online instantly. Now, the one thing, if you do pay online, yes, you can go ahead and keep the points, whatever you have on your credit card, not a problem. But just like if you're paying your taxes for the counties or so on, you can definitely pay online, but there's always a processing fee. So their processing fee is the 3.5%. So again, you can put it on your credit card that way. You can drop off a check. You can mail it straight to their office. You can bring it to Paul here, or you can put it right in our mailbox here. But it's so easy. We try to help out across the board, any at all ways that we can. But that's not easy with the dues. The other thing that we're actually working on right now, and the big goal is ours, is diversification. And so I have been working actually with the finance committee. And so at the end of this month, starting in February, we're going to see all the dues that have come in. And in the past, so much of that money was just kept in checkings accounts, as you know, making 0.00%. So the idea is we're thinking about diversification. So we're actually going to start looking at some more money markets. Now, we already have some funds in money markets. We're fantastic because as you already know, you can get the money out the very next day. But current money markets are paying 3.2, 3.3, 3.4%. So instead of leaving funds in a checking account, we need to go ahead and obviously diversify into some money markets and also start looking to investments in some CDs. In our past management company, so many of the funds were locked up. All the deposits that they received that year were locked up and not turned over to the HOA. So then we had to wait months and months before the previous boards to even try to invest that. Our current management company is not like that at all. As soon as the funds come in, it's instantly for us to just go ahead and invest and disperse those funds straight going out. But I just want to give some of that information to you, but that's part of the process. Again, if you have any questions at all, the door is always open. I'll be more than happy to explain everything in person for you. Thank you.
All right, now we'll move into the committee reports. And the first committee report is the ABC POA. With the holidays, there hasn't been a lot of going on with the ABC POA. However, they are having a forum on February the 9th. It's going to run from 8 to 3, so a long day. But what they're asking is they're going to have a multitude of speakers and sessions for anybody that would like to come. They're asking for 2 board members. I'm going to go. I think Chad's going to look to see if he can go.
That works as well.
They're also asking if up to 3 people in the particular community would like to go as well. So what they're going to cover is obviously the latest HOA bills that are still sitting in the Senate that affect HOA or not in a good way. They're going to be talking about the infrastructure in the county with all the building that's going on. They're trying to figure out how they can leverage all the HOAs in the area to get them to look at, roads, utilities. I think a lot of us understand, or we noticed last summer with our irrigation system, that half of them don't work anymore because there's so many new houses and they've not upgraded the pump stations around here. So if you haven't noticed it yet, you might this summer. So if you are interested in going, they are going to provide drinks, snacks, and they will provide a lunch. So I need to know if anybody is interested in going. Like I said, I'm going for sure. Chad is going to try his darndest to go. But up to 3 people, if you would like to go and participate in that, if you would let me know, I have to send that in so they make sure they have enough food for everyone that's going. So other than that, next is the ARC.
All
right.
right.
Don't lay on the bed. Very nice. Should have put my hands behind my back. Right. This is gonna be hard for me to do. I'll just bear it. Right. I'm Scott Reed, and I'm chairman of the ARC. Put my eyes on here. I'm just gonna, it's pretty basic. On the current outgoing projects here, review the building plans, site plans, and as we receive them, inspect building sites, issue warning letters, and meet with new homeowners prior to them hopefully signing contracts. And that way they know exactly what we expect in the HOA. Because a lot of them never read the CCNRs or anything. They just, it's like, oh, I didn't know how to do that. So, yeah, surprise, surprise. Okay. Okay. Since our last report, we've approved 6 new builds. And that has slowed down a lot. And we've conducted 16 final inspections. So we've added 16 new houses to our community since last board meeting in October. Is that when it was? And we find various builders, total $800, and the review fees that we've accumulated is $12,000. And that's part of that Chad was talking about on the $2,000 that we get from each builder. And then start within the next 6 months, same thing, review plans, monitor new builds, and then no operating budget issues, reserve budget issues, none. The only changes we've had is I'm now the chairman, and we've added Gary Shope as a ARC member, and Mike George has left us and went to better things.
He's 14.
Yeah.
Mike has been out of town the entire month.
Every board meeting or every ARC meeting or board meeting we had, he's always, because I was always reading the reports. Now that's the basics right there. Now I have something here I want to go over. That is, I want to try to clue everybody in on where we're at in the neighborhood as far as percentages built out and whatnot. We have a total of 471 lots in Oyster Harbor. And of these 471 lots, we have 265 houses on them. And that puts us about 56% completed in our, and we have currently 32 new builds going that are not part of that. So as soon as them 32 builds are finished, we will be at 63%. And we have a total of 174 lots that have no houses on them now, and they're owned by individuals or builders. Not of them, not a lot, but several are owned by builders, and they're not even slowing down, but they have slowed down some, but I expect that to pick back up. And let's see here. So we've got it. You know, a lot of people walk around and they say, hey, what's all these red ribbons or red dots or white ribbons? That is not trees that are going to be removed. As the builder sends their surveying crew out, they have to log every tree that's on that property that's 6 inches or bigger. So they put a mark or they put a ribbon or something of that sort on there just so they know that they got that on the plans. And there's a lot of people say, how come we're going to let them? Well, that's not what we're doing. We're not letting them clear them all. That's just so they know what they've got on their plans. And let's see. That's pretty much, I just want to make sure everybody knew where we was at on the builds and how much we got left to do, which isn't very much. I mean, 174 more houses is all, you know, lots that are empty. So, you got any questions on any of this? Or? Good deal. So,
I thought you did too. All right, Charlie?
Good evening, Charlie Collins, Boats and Docks, Committee Chair. Mine's super brief tonight. Current status of our storage lots, we have 2 remaining vacant spots on the asphalt, the extended storage for items for 22 foot or less. We have 2 spots in the fenced in area. Those are subject to the length and width the items that needs to be stored. And we have 1 spot in the back of the neighborhood and Regal lot, which is a lot for utility trailers or jet skis only. Projects that are going to start within the next 6 months on February 2nd. The report says February 1st, but it's February 2nd. We'll send out the annual validation email. So all storage users and boat ramp users will need to revalidate their stuff, and we're issuing out new decals this year, so they'll change from blue to red. We will have a committee member up here a few days in the month of February. If folks want to do in-person renewals, I'll provide that information of the dates on that email we send out. If you don't get your email, check your junk or spam. If not, email Boats and Docks and we'll get you the information. And the last thing on the list is at the end of January. So hopefully next week we'll be meeting with the boat ramp engineer to start working on workup so we can pursue quotes to give to the board. That's all I have. Any questions?
Communications?
Llewellyn Brademan, reading the Communications Committee report because Jim asked me to. Committee focus and goals. The Communications and Technology Committee continues to focus on improving how information is shared, accessed, and managed across the community. Our primary goals include simplifying access to information on the community websites, making requests easy to locate, submit, and track, driving toward a paperless environment, reducing steps and workflows to improve turnaround time and reduce effort, centralizing correspondence and approvals into a single reliable system, and ensuring online storage of all future documents and artifacts for consistency and long-term access. Accomplishments to date, the committee has made measurable progress toward these goals, including access request form modernization. Paul's access request form has been converted into a fully fillable format. The form has been reviewed and approved by Paul and is ready for deployment, improving ease of use and reducing manual handling. And ticketing system testing. Test cases are currently being run using the ticketing system to evaluate its ability to provide improved visibility, tracking, and accountability for requests. Early testing shows promise in streamlining communication and follow-up. Ongoing communications, regular e-blast. The committee continues to coordinate and distribute consistent community communications. Tuesdays are the business-related notifications. Thursdays are the social committee updates. Community signage. The front entrance sign is actively maintained with relevant and timely information to ensure residents and visitors are kept informed. And finally, looking ahead, the committee remains focused on refining systems, reducing manual processes, and improving the overall communication experience for residents, volunteers, and vendors. Continued testing, feedback, and incremental improvements will guide next steps toward a fully integrated, efficient, and user-friendly communications infrastructure.
Just saying.
Damon.
Financial planning.
Hello all.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Dana Janke. I think we're gonna try to change the name of the committee to just the Financial Committee. Because what we'd like to do is kind of move into a situation where the communication is for the benefit of all members and not just the planning necessarily, because obviously the treasurer and the board is doing a lot of that in-house. What we're trying to do is get more information for them to help them make the decisions that they want to make. Just wanted to preface that. So here's the report. What we're doing currently is evaluating the needs of finances for necessary projects. We obviously all know that even the building we're sitting in, we're looking for chairs. We're trying to fit. We're not sure about what we're going to do with that section. Limiting access, working through the parking issues, everything. We might be looking at situations where we're going to need additional funding, and that's going to be very challenging. Whether it's this or the ramp, those are the two. This clubhouse and the ramp are obviously the biggest challenges we have. Our goal is to help support the board in making those decisions with everything that we have in terms of information. We want to assist the treasurer in advising the board for potential investment opportunities. You just talked about that. We continue to do that. Assist in creating a financial framework for strategic planning, same thing. Evaluate lack of historical financial data after changing from Waccamaw to CAM OIB. We want to make sure that we have a good history, because without historical data, how do you make effective decisions? Very important. If it means that the financial committee has to go back in time, even from a situation of just statements, we want to make sure that all the members understand what has happened in the past and therefore can make informed decisions with the board about what we do in the future. We need to accumulate the past data, maintain confidentiality. It's very buggy to me that no personal data should be shared ever. To the extent we're in a very small community, we're in a very small room right now. It's very important that there's not a lot of sharing of personal data. Everybody goes through things. Everybody has challenges. We understand that. That has nothing to do with this. And I want everybody to know, even if it means signing a non-disclosure agreement, nobody's personal data should be shared ever. I hope everybody agrees to that. What I'd really like to do is there's even free financial analysis programs. I mean, we go online and we see all these beautiful programs that help, to analyze things. I got to tell you, I talk to people all day long about numbers and their eyes glaze over. What we need is ways to describe things that are more visual and easy to understand. There are free programs, software programs, but you need historical data. So what I'd like to do is kind of work through that, get the historical data in there, and then be able to show all the members when we have a meeting like this, this is what it means if we have a 7% increase in expenses, or we have a 2% increase in dues, or a 10%, which is maximum every year for dues. This is what it's going to look like for you. And that might be really important to look down the road, because what we have right now might not be what we need, whether it's the ramp or the clubhouse or the roads or whatever. So we want to kind of modernize, I guess, is what I would say. But a lot of them are free. So it's not even something we necessarily need to spend money on. We need to evaluate past tax returns. Full disclosure, I am a tax accountant. I've never done an 1120H like we have. What I'd like to do at another time is educate people. And I know people don't want to show up, and I'm rambling on, but there's a very big difference between the tax return that we file, why we set up to do it this way, and how we don't necessarily have the data we need to make decisions the same way we should. I'm not going to bore you now with that. What I'm committing to you is we're going to do that in later sessions. So I hope you're okay with getting more information. Sorry, I think I already gave enough for you to throw up, so I'm sorry. Are there any questions? And I commit to answering anything anybody would like to.
Thank
I'm Vince Bracken, grounds chair.
We're gonna have our first meeting on Saturday. John, I didn't after yet, but if you're available Saturday morning, we got a meeting 11 o'clock in the clubhouse for Grant. Thank you, man.
From what I noticed coming in from vacation is Carolina Creation made a mistake out on Boone's Neck Road. Looks like they trimmed the berm on the backside and now it exposes a bunch of homes, which they were not supposed to do. It was not given any approval. The problem we have is we have a new property manager, very young guy. He takes care of Oyster Harbor, St. James, and 2 other properties on 211. So he's just starting to come in and understand what we do according to our contract. The other thing I put in our report is that I'm asking for approval of $1,000 from the board so we continue to put more pine mulch or pine straw around the clubhouse area just to brighten it up. But we'll have more information after we have this meeting on Saturday. We have some ideas we want to come up with and present to the board as we go into the future. Other than that, any questions? Okay, thank you.
Right, member orientation. Jonathan said you could bring Rosie to the meeting.
My son. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mary Ann Iden, and Judy George and I have the privilege of being co-chairs of the Member Welcome and Orientation Committee. At the moment, all those new homes and those new homeowners that are getting ready to come in, we are getting ready to orientate and welcome them in our next meeting. So currently, our next meeting is February 17, 2026, new member welcome event, 7 o'clock here in the clubhouse. The invites went out, thanks to Jim, a couple days ago. So we're getting ready for this. And they're always so welcoming and so much fun. We really have the best job in the neighborhood. So, so moving on, the activities and projects completed since the last report to the board. We had on November 12th, we had a follow-up meeting with the committee, and we discussed our last member welcome event, which was held on 10/21. We will be holding 3 meetings this coming year in 2026. We've added another one because of the growth and of the people moving in. At our October 21 meeting, there were 13 households represented and 23 people attended. And it's worth being noted that this was by far our largest attendance, and we received very good feedback, and they were very happy with the welcoming and informative information that we put out to everyone in our welcome packet and on the survey that we asked them to complete before they leave the meeting. Our activities and projects plan to start within the next six months. We are planning for our February 17th event. On January 19th, the invites were sent. On February 2nd, we will email invite reminders. And on February 10th is our RSVP due date. So we hope to hear back from everybody. But we are always open to anyone who was not able or did not respond that evening. We never turn anyone away. And our upcoming meetings, like I mentioned, planned for our new member welcome events will be on June 23rd and October 20th. Our budget issues, current operating budget issues, none. Reserve budget issues, none. Committee purpose membership changes, there are none. And that's it for us. Thank you.
Mary Ann, the meeting on the 7th.
The new meeting, what time?
What
is that?
time?
7 p.m.
7 o'clock. Perfect.
And next, ponds and fountains, Bill.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bill Justice, the chairperson of the Ponds and Fountains Committee. Since our last discussion in October, our equipment has been running somewhat trouble-free. with the exception of the last 2 weeks.
Whack, whack, whack.
We had two, one minor, one not so minor issue. One of the timers, digital timers on the Osprey East fountain was glitchy, causing the fountain to turn off unexpectedly before it reached its setting. So we had a new timer put in there yesterday, and it seems to be working fine now. And the bad news is that the fountain on Ibis Lake has seized up. The motor bearings failed after 10 to 12 years. Once the motor seized up, motor windings overheated and opened up. The fountain is non-repairable. So we're going to have to replace the fountain. And we got the 10 years out of it. I think the reserve has it listed in there as a 5-year period, so we doubled that. That was the last fountain that we have on the property that we had not converted the fountain lights to the LED lights. I think we went through all the benefits of converting those to LED lights. So while we have the fountain out, it's out now, and we need to get
Trying to
it.
figure out what that was sitting in the bank. I didn't go down there.
Yeah. So we need to, I think, just go ahead and at this time convert the light assembly over to the LED lights. And our contractor, Total Lake Care, will warrant the fountain and warrant the lights for a 3-year period. They are now certified as the repair person for those particular type of fountains and pumps on those fountains. So I just have you guys, when we get a chance to approve that from the reserve, we can get the order over to get the fountain fixed. Other than that, all the rest of the fountains seem to be operating properly. We don't have any future projects that we have planned at this time. And we didn't add anyone or remove anyone from the committee.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay.
Can I interrupt real quick? So I want to say that I know a lot of you guys, and we've tried to be very conscientious about making sure we get extra bids and all of that kind of stuff. In this case, we will not be seeking extra bids because of our existing contract with Total Lake Care. So I just want to go ahead and put that out there.
Next is safety and preparedness.
I don't think he's here. I don't,
This is not here.
did anybody? No?
If you want.
Okay.
Can we do it?
Frank, Mr. Go.
The committee has some recruiting issues at this point, and with Mike George being absent, and he's our liaison, and with him being absent, both Frank Rios and I have sort of taken a step back on, our meetings. It's just a matter of whether or not, the direction and the mission of that particular committee can be well defined enough for it to continue, I think.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben.
Next
All right.
is social.
So I'm a new member to the social committee, so I guess this is how we get. Thanks for driving me. So anyway, so Carla's not here, so she's asked that they asked that somebody else would speak up, so here I am. So I am the newest member. Everybody knows that Mike has now left. And so we've had a busy year, so I'll just go ahead and read the notes from Carla. She starts off, I guess it goes from the last time that the reports were done. We had the Halloween trunk or treat and the Halloween party. 61 people signed up for the Halloween party. They had the Brunswick stew, provided the live music, and the trunk or treat was attended by more children this year than apparently last. We had in November, we had our Harvest Soup Day. 77 people signed up. We had apparently some awesome soups. I know I was here, so it was a huge turnout. And we also had the Oyster Harbor mugs were sold for $5 a mug. So I'm not sure how many we sold that now. We had 2 sponsored charity events that were successful this year. The Wish Upon a Star project produced 100 gifts for 2 families, plus gift cards for a holiday meal. We had that was provided by Patty Christopherson. Thank you. Our Ladies Bunko group had $1,020 in cash and 300 pounds of food and goods for the Brunswick County Assistance, and $350 in cash and lots of pet food and supplies for the animal shelter. So she wanted to thank everybody who participated and provided for those. Community holiday decorating and lunch took place in December. Annual Christmas party, cookie exchange, and the golf cart parade. It was fun and festive, and our new members, including myself, hung our ornaments on the Christmas tree, and we were introduced. So I think that was a good turnout. Our New Year's Eve party, the carnival party, had 75 people or folks signed up to ring in the new year, which was 10 o'clock, which I learned is Rio de Janeiro time. So for midnight, DJ Kelvin Andrews provided the music and entertainment, and some of us hung around after the fact, but it was all at our cost. So that was a really nice time. The social committee hosted 15 events this year. Our next one is for the Super Bowl. I guess we're planning on having that big monster over there hung above the fireplace and available for the Super Bowl party. That is Sunday, February 8th at 5:30. Deli sandwiches are provided by the social committee. You are asked to bring a snack, dessert, and bring your own booze. We do have a potluck dinner planned for the month in March. And I think it was just Tuesday we met, and we have gone over what the rest of the calendar looks like for the rest of this year. And I think that that's posted for everybody to see. Social committee cash on hand right now is $132.18. And again, Carla just wants to say thank you to all of those that have helped participate in all the events this year, and looking forward to next year. Any questions?
Thank you.
Mr. Puglisi?
I'm staring at you. You just stared back at me.
Mm-hmm. All the structures.
I wouldn't have Barb goes.
Yeah.
Construction Champlin. Some of the highlights that Structures has done.
What we've done is we put shelving in the green bag, and Sunday we get a sense and put the post around stop sign. We added stop sign system separated. The total cost for that I think is about $450. Don Champlin in Florida, he evaluated the pool furniture, made a recommendation to the board for the chairs, the board for board cover. They should be given for the pool openings. John and I also got bids to resurface the pool.
Understanding it's trying to schedule for the end of February. I gave him a target date of March 15th. But I won't be here at the end of February. I might be back by March 15th. And he knows that the pool is supposed to open on April 3rd. Aside from getting it resurfaced, we have no water pressure. So to fill the pool, it's going to take several days.
then the pool company has to come in and get the chemical, whatever they do to stabilize it before we can get it inspected by the county or the state? The county. And then we can open it up. And then we had ABC building supplies hit the kiosk, the post. We didn't get a chance to check on it. We got a quote that was just obnoxious to repair them. So we're gonna get, I'm working to get them straightened up, get new sleeves on it. The concrete is like 3 different types of concrete from prior things. This is not on Oyster Harbor. It'll be, I think you're doing it, right? Chad is working with them. ABC will pay for that. They stood up. They said, yeah, we did it. The guy apologized and everything. And I think on February 1st, we're supposed to have a scheduling of all the events that occurred. And I may be able to just put out feelers for an architect. Do we add? Do we knock down? What do we need to do for the clubhouse? So we can put a line item. Where's the? A line item. So we can start putting the money. Now there's money tacked on several things in the clubhouse. Right? Do we spend that money or do we put it towards something else? We don't know. We're going to try and find out. Yeah. We have approval to put replace the windscreens at the pickleball courts. I got it for $703. Can I have the card? I need the card. And that's going to take 3 to 4 weeks, because they're all custom size, so that won't be right here. Tom and Dennis have volunteered with other members of structures, hopefully Dan, to replace the railings at the gate. You touch them, they're just going to fall over. So we're going to use stainless steel on everything. The ability to use regular finishing nails. 30 years ago, they had rotted away. So it's expected that's going to cost $250 to replace all the railings on both sides. And that pretty much does it for me. Are there any questions?
Thanks, Ben. Thank you, Dan. And for Luann.
Glenn Moran with the post construction. It's been pretty slow since the last board meeting. We've only had 9 applications for improvements to people's property within the community. One is mine was a retaining wall. We've had trees. Seems to be a lot of trees dying. A reason why, but they're dying, and it might be something I want to look into to see if there's an arborist or someone with the state might want to come in, and they're just dying hand over fist. I mean, I'm sitting in my backyard. One dropped the other day. The whole tree just came down. So, the others were handrails and things of that nature. If you have had put an application in and you're done with your project and you haven't contacted the respective committee member, could you please do that so that we can do the final inspection and cancel out your application? We have a running sheet. I've sent emails out, but sometimes they go to spam and I never get a response. Other than that, we have no other issues and good to go.
Thank you.
So we have nominating committee listed there as well, but that won't be in effect until August of or
Yeah,
no, July or August of June.
but she'll probably
June.
start talking about it.
Yeah, we'll start talking about it.
Yeah.
So that is that.
All right.
All right. So next is unfinished business, and Bill briefly spoke about this. The pool repairs, the contract was signed. It was substantially less than what we had anticipated and communicated to everyone in maybe the last board meeting. The price of the pool is $34,800. We expected between $48,000 and really replacing all of the tiles to be $70,000. So, thanks to Bill and his team for, getting all the quotes. We've had 3 or 4. We had 3 quotes. And the structures team went through the contracts and recommended to the board BGI, Blue, what was it?
Blue green.
Yeah. So, Build Green. Next is the boat storage update. Charlie spoke about that already as well. Storage in clubhouse to move to the guardhouse. So that was something that Bill spoke to as well. Hopefully, the goal is to get the items that are in the attic. Those are the old timey attic stairs that no one wants to go up.
Ladder.
Yeah, that rickety ladder. So they've done a good job over there of getting as much as that into the guardhouse as possible. And discussion of the old kayak dock. Currently, we've gotten estimates on, well, we've gotten one estimate, materials estimate on how much it would cost to rebuild that entire dock. Would you like to tell them?
No,
The current estimate, and the reason we're bringing this up is because we want your input as to what you think the community should do. We've discussed it and we've have some ideas on our own, but the quote we got was $81,000 to fix that the way it needs to be fixed.
no, that would do the work. That's
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
yes, that's all of
yeah,
it.
that's all of it.
Is it a use it or lose it situation? And I think maybe people would need to know that.
Yeah.
Um,
If it gets torn down, we will not be able to
Yeah.
put it back up,
That's important.
right?
Yeah.
So that's very key that, that's the kind of the scenario. So, and I would say, gentlemen, hold on, we can talk. I would say that, like much like the pool, we do have one estimate right now, right? And much like the pool, we had some pretty high estimates. And when Bill and them sought to get some additional effort, we substantially saved the money. So it is one estimate right now. But we do want to know what the neighborhood thinks about that place in general. All right, wait, and then, wait.
During this meeting right now?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
This meeting, we want feedback.
Right, yeah, so I mean,
From
if you
everybody.
wanna,
The one thing real quick on that is the Brunswick County, obviously at low tide, that is coming down and hitting all the oyster shells. So because of that, Brunswick County says in the future, if they came out, brand new house, and they want to put one in there, they're gonna turn it down. So it's grandfathered in right now. But if, again, we want to replace and put a brand new one in, that's the one thing that Brunswick County has really cracked down on all homeowners in that aspect.
if you wanna say something, Bill, come up here so that people on Zoom can
Yeah.
hear.
Bill, people want to see your face, Bill.
To hear,
Yeah.
Yeah.
People on Zoom.
yeah. All right,
I think we have some increases. So if the engineer would say, the posts that are in the mud are solid, I think some internal discussion with structures members, the decking and the railings could be done. As far as sinking post in, I did it at my house. That is not fun. So if the engineer is going to come out and look at the water, at the boat lawn, he can evaluate that. If they're good, we might have a solution.
well, and I would say the other interesting thing for me is the quote that we have is from I mean, if I'm gonna spend 7 figures over here, can I get something else? Yeah.
That's still a good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Posts are back, the same posts are back.
Well,
Then
yeah,
we're right.
then we're-
Now, can we replace the posts, keep the grandfather clock though?
we could, but that's gonna,
But
That's
yeah, we're just, this is.
this is just general conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got another gentleman back here that wanted to say something. Could you please come up?
Yeah, go ahead, say mine.
He's not even here.
Steve. I just saw a hand pop over. Excuse me.
I don't need this commercial. Welcome back. Hi, thank you. Hey, watch it. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in.
Here.
Hey, yeah.
So, since you said it's time for the community to share how they feel, so you know how we feel, here's one person that feels very strongly about keeping the old kayak. I bought into this community for very, varied reasons, and that we're a waterfront community is important to me. That dock is beautiful. I mean, as nice as the newer kayak dock is, you have to crank it down to get your boat down in, and then you have to time it so that you can actually climb back out without falling off your kayak to get back up. And it's beautiful, but there's nothing easier than just to be able to carry your kayak down that ramp at the gangway there and place your kayak in the water from the floating dock. It's okay about low tide. The sea levels are rising. Soon those oysters will be living free and clear of the mountain. But if it's up to me, I'd say we keep that amenity. I heard somebody say maybe we'll just let it go. And I don't think that would be fair to say, let's give up an amenity, because maybe we could just give up the pool or the pickleball courts or the bocce courts. Get rid of that amenity just so we can have another one. That's a very important thing. And I think everybody would agree that it's a special spot. I think more photos are taken there than anywhere else in this community. It's that beautiful. So that's.
Thank you.
That's how I feel. Thank you.
We've done this before, and last year we tried it. We keep saying we want
better at it. Do you think we should put a survey out?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
What?
Yeah.
We did that one. Right, that's. Both. Was it's sort of strong. So Scott fishing, remember that? No.
Okay, I'm just gonna provide some feedback from some folks on the Zoom. Stephen Lestage says, we have a kayak dock. Do we need another? Maybe take it down and just let it be a viewing area. Gary and Paula Blaylock said, seems valuable to keep the kayak fishing dock because we are grandfathered in. Summer Joe Wallace says the area provides additional location for the community to enjoy the amazing views that our neighborhood offers. Many times the kayak launch is full of citizens. So that's 3 comments from, there's a couple of other questions, but it's not related to this topic.
so we'll wait till we get to this.
And I'll just wait until we get to the open questions.
That's the
That's
proposal that you guys got.
Yeah.
Is it broken down? Just for a quick question.
Yeah, so people in Zoom can't hear what the question is. Sorry.
All I'm asking is your proposal broken down labor and material?
So, it includes material and labor. To your
That's all
point,
I
I
mean.
would like to see.
Yeah, like, so that's what I like.
That's it, yeah.
Because I know there's plenty of people and I'm brand new.
Yeah.
But I'd gladly help fix it. And I've looked at it, and aside from the pilings, I'm not an expert. I do construction for a living. It's not hard to fix. If those pilings are there, we get a bunch of guys and gals and some beer and we fix it.
How are you, Jim?
Joe Carosa, Bill, I echo absolutely everything you said. That dock is, for me personally, is viable to the enjoyment that I get from this community. The dock itself for the kayaks, the extra spot to fish, it's big, it's wide. The other kayak dock, really appreciate that, but unfortunately for a lot of people, that ladder system, it's, for some people may be unsafe. I don't use it. I don't allow my wife to use it. I have a double kayak. It's really long. And if you don't balance it out the right way. So for me, once again, to repeat myself, the other kayak dock needs to stay. I think there were some discussions about, can it be better? Is there a new system out there to launch kayaks? And the Shallotte River Walk Park has a kayak ramp that's on, it's almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a conveyor belt. Probably super, super expensive to do something like that. But if we're going to look at other options, maybe the dock can be made smaller and then use that type of ramp. But point being is that dock's really important to me and the community.
Thanks, Jeff.
And I'll help with the construction.
Okay.
Okay, a couple more from the Zoom. Gary and Paula Blaylock completely agree with the current comments. And Bob Swift, keep the amenity, love your wine dock. So.
So I think we're going to let structures, when the engineer is out, to look at those pilings and make sure that they're in good shape. And then they can recommend, go forward with getting
Come on, Lorraine. Wait.
getting
Some next ops.
Wait, Lorraine's got her hand up.
Well, we're trying to. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lorraine. About a year ago, I built my kayak, and when I was in the process of doing it, I called Cam to come out, and he literally came out and says, "This is what you need to do." And he told me everything I had to do. I tried to do it on my own. It is a process. I commend you guys that would like to do it, but they are sticklers. And when they will come in the process of permits, I mean, there was like 5 different permits. My neighbor Bill Puglisi helped me with that, and I just got stuck where my builder, Richardson, the one that gave you the quote. I had him do it because it will get tied up in Brunswick County. So, and I'm all for the docks. We already lost our walking trails. You can't even walk through those anymore. So I don't know if something that you could bring back, but we'll see. But I'm all for it. I see a lot of people. I kayak over there. I see a lot of that activities over there. There is no floating docks allowed, that I've learned too. So that with the post up there, what I can see, it could be screwed in or whatever, how they do it to those pilings. So, I mean, it could be a way out, hopefully, but there's a lot of tape, too. So I just want to give you a heads up about that.
Anybody? All right. Anybody else?
You're good.
Does anybody else want to
Bill-
weigh in?
Moving on.
Move on. All right.
All right, good.
So moving on to new business, ARC update.
There are-
Do you have any ARC update?
The only thing that the ARC is actually working on right now is the any changes to the guidelines for the 2026 year. And so the 3 ARC members are actually working right now on that. We actually will try to arrange a meeting next week since I'm the liaison. And it's just going through and updating any types of changes to the guidelines for all the new constructions from here on out. That's something that the ARC is going to be working on every single year. So it's going to be any type of implementations or changes, because you see with so many more builds, so many new developments going on, it's trying to keep everything inside somewhat of the same layout for what we've had in the neighborhood already. But that's our next update for the ARC.
Okay. B, new committee chairs was inadvertently put on the new business.
We're gonna get to David's on it.
Next is, and this was something that we wanted to see if there was an appetite for this, and your thoughts, is converting the pool to salt water. Reason we brought this up is before we go down the long road of looking into the cost of switching this over, what we believe and what we understand from other communities, well, almost all other communities have saltwater pools.
Right.
The benefit of that is obviously the chemical use, which is extremely expensive, that we pay for on an ongoing basis. So before we went down the road and tasked, a committee to do a lot of work, we wanted to know if that was something that the community would be interested in before we task someone with hours and hours of work looking at.
Did we just get a raise of hands if you're interested?
I mean,
There we go.
Anybody like salt water?
That's
right. And that's right.
Oh, it's so much
What-
easier, yeah.
But before we spent that effort, it was like.
Yeah, what we'll do, obviously, is we'll have the committee go out and see the conversion, how much it would cost to convert, and what the maintenance is, and then we can go back and look, obviously, at what we've been spending over the umpteen years
Right.
in chemicals. This is very,
The
This-
well, the reason that this is under new business was because it was like.
yeah, this is very,
Right.
yeah, this is very preliminary, and I'll tell you, Mike, who's enjoying Florida at the moment,
Right.
brought this up to us, and we wanted to reach out and see what the community thought. I mean, I felt like, most people, if we can save money on it, would be interested in it, but we wanted to let the community
And save the chemicals.
have a say.
And that's what you're seeing in a lot of neighborhoods right now across the board. Very few, it's hard to have fresh water. Mine, other place down in Surfside, 100% salt, hot tub up here, 100% salt. I mean, so it's just easier maintenance, easier cleaning, and the durability for it, just works out.
Come up, Bill.
Dan?
All they have to do is ask full professional. That's all I have to
Right.
do, send a text.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
When you look into the saltwater pool,
Come on, Dan. You.
This is experience right here.
Dan, Dan, you know the rules.
This is experience.
Don't lean on it.
Not clear. My name is Dan Evans. About 5 years ago, we had the issue with the pool resurfacing. And the question came up then about salt water versus what we have now. The analysis was, now this is maybe 5-6 years ago, that the upfront cost was more for salt water than for what we have now. Or on the long term, over 5 years, 8 years, it was cheaper and healthier to go with the salt water. So if you do the analysis over X amount of years, you're going to see, I think, that it's better to do the salt water rather than say what we have. That was what we did a couple of years. And I don't know why we didn't pursue the salt water 5-6 years ago. I don't have an answer. We should have back then. Anyway, it's a good topic to have. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Next in new
Was
business.
the TV service for the clubhouse fitness room. So we had an issue a couple weeks ago now with the Merge TV, which I don't have Merge, so I know nothing about it. But apparently Chad let us know that Merge TV is going away.
And that's what Focus Internet, it's just what the catch, that's what Focus had Merge as their system. But what they've seen over years and years with so many people getting divided into so many different TV options. Some people are completely tied to Netflix. Some people are completely tied to Yuhu or YouTube. Some are completely tied to Hulu. And so with all of that, they got to the point that, and I actually watched a 20-minute video that Focus was talking about, their revenue coming in from the Merge TV was nothing. So they're actually terminating that this coming March is their last day.
So what we've done, the board's discussed the issue at hand, and we purchased, you can't miss that
Yeah.
TV behind you.
Pretty big.
We purchased that TV, which is a smart TV, which is got, obviously, it's everything in the world on it. We actually purchased a little bit larger TV for the gym as well, so it's easier to see other than that 32-inch. With the goal, we kind of did an analysis of what we were spending, which, to be honest with you, I had no idea we were spending what we were
It
spending
was a surprise.
on a service. Just up front, we were spending $124 a month for Merge TV. So we looked at that, and we looked at, what was your?
YouTube.
YouTube TV, at a cost of $85 a month. And so with that being said, we want to make sure that this TV supports what people are going to use the TVs for in the community. At this point, we're not signing up with a new service as long as these TVs will function. This Vizio has live TV, 275 live channels. So our hope is, well, we've upgraded the TVs in both rooms. There's going to be live TV in there. Hopefully it will serve the community without any ongoing expense, year after year after year. But we got to make sure that it actually functions the way we need it to function. So we may have to at some point go back to some type of service, but that is not our hope. Our hope is to eliminate that ongoing expense. And with what we spent, since we're not going to hopefully have to use a service anymore, fingers crossed, we spent less on those two TVs than the cost of the service for the entire year. Plus, ongoing next year, at $124, we were spending $1,488 a year for service. So hopefully that will be a savings on out.
It's kind of like almost getting a whole other property.
So,
And the one option you do, remember, like, I'm an Amazon Prime person. So obviously, if the NFL games come on Thursday night on Amazon Prime, so unless you have Amazon Prime, you can't watch it. But if I wanted to, I could come up, I could log into it right here. I could watch the whole game, and then obviously log myself right back out.
Log out.
Don't log out. But that's where it gets into. So it's just like YouTube. If anybody here has YouTube or whatever, you can have 3 TVs going at one time with that. So obviously I could have one TV playing YouTube at my house. I could come up here and log into my YouTube account as well and have both of them going. I can't have more than 3 TVs logged in at one time at my house or anywhere. But I travel a lot still. But in a hotel room, I'll be able to just log into things instantly, watch whatever I want to, log right back out. So that's just what we're trying to get. The main thing is our goal is to get these TVs up starting tomorrow and really try to get the whole entire area to really take off. Again, the current TVs that we have right here are not smart TVs. So they're great, but again, these are where you have more complete access to them. So we can have movie nights, maybe once a month up here for everybody to come, or have different art events, or you name it. But that's kind of the idea we're kind of looking at right now. It's going to be one step at a time.
Nancy?
yes, ma'am.
I'm going to speak up for Miss Carla. Because we had heard about this, and with the Super Bowl coming on February 8th, are you ensuring?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, if I have to put my personal YouTube up there, you guys will watch it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's how easy this is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to have somebody come up here, log in with their personal information into the TV so that the rest of us can watch.
We are ensuring so that you're
Going to have the Super Bowl. Everybody.
Tuesday night, Bonnie, you were there. I want to make sure.
Please.
Please.
I don't think that a lot of people are comfortable coming up here and using their personal.
We're not asking anyone to do that.
You don't have to do it. It's completely optional. So if you're in the gym, I know Charlie gets in the gym and it's on his treadmill in there, right? If he wants to, it will be he can't. Nobody's telling you.
Super
There
Bowl
are
is
200
normally not on a local channel.
Well, it's on national, it's on NBC.
NBC.
Okay, so You're ensuring. So
Yes.
Carla, we can tell Carla. and
Yes,
she'll be
yes, yes, yes.
good. We can tell Carla. and she'll be
Yes,
good.
yes, yes, yes.
Because that is her concern.
Okay,
All right. Yes, ma'am.
we don't know yet.
We're not sure exactly what we're gonna do with that. There's,
For now, it's gonna stay on the wall.
yeah, we're not gonna remove it.
But they're gonna move the
We may-
DVD
yeah.
player so you can do
Potentially,
your
yeah.
exercises
Yeah.
in the middle of
Yeah.
the room instead of over there.
So next is member comments and questions, and we would ask that no more than 3 minutes per comment or question. And anybody wants to come on up? Oh,
Oh, wait, you wanna do yours? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right, just back to, if you're keeping track, there was, yes, interested in saltwater, yes to saltwater. And that was, Kristen and Joanne Dovak and Wendy Bowen, that was yes to saltwater, pool. And then Stacy C said, we're new. My hubby worked in the pool business for years and converted our pool to a salt chlorine generator. Who should he talk to?
Bill?
To Bill Puglisi. Stacy, can you, tell him to reach out to Bill Puglisi? All right, and then, I'm sorry, Lorraine, when you mentioned walking trails, okay, and people were like, walking trails, who knew? Are there marsh walking trails, or is there something that was a question, where they are, but you said they were lost, so I guess maybe it doesn't matter if they're lost, if,
So. So for
It's
anybody,
new in the neighborhood was originally designed with walking trails over the year. I think in the beginning, they were kept up, they were mulched every year, and over time, they have, to your point, have basically disappeared. If you know where to look, you can see where they were at one time, but
so these are not the ones like around the ponds and that. This is, you live on that marshy area back there. Neighborhood, and then you cut through that one and it goes pond, it just keeps going around. Oh,
not the marshy area.
yeah,
Along the sides of the ponds, there are trails.
yeah, those I knew about.
Vince, can you investigate
So, yeah, grounds, yeah, Vince, can you investigate that? Vince with Grounds is gonna investigate that. That was, Kristen and Joanne asked about that, and Vicky, McKinney asked about it, okay? So, thank you, Vince, in advance. Okay, and then I have to back up. I'm sorry, I think this one was at the very beginning. And I'm getting to it. Two questions that were brought up earlier on. Please, okay, this is Stephen Lestage. Please explain why we need salt conversion for our pool when they have already converted to bromine, which is better than chlorine. So I don't know who Stephen should talk to. I'm assuming maybe this is one of the houses in here that have their own pool. Stephen, you can add something in the chat if I need to expand on that. But who should he talk to about that?
Bill.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, we're just
we're at the very beginning of this.
I don't know if that, when he asked this, is way before we talked about the pool, so I was sort of assuming it maybe, let me scroll down and see if he's given clarity. I was assuming this is someone that had their own pool and it was something they were being told they had to do with a new pool installed. So Stephen, if you could give us more feedback, about that, and I can share it with the board and someone can get with you. Maybe let's do it that way. But he asked that at 7:09. It was way before we talked about this big pool. So that's why I'm not sure. And then we have a question from Bob Swift. Why are so many boats in driveways?
Well, first, this is
I guess, question.
Yeah.
So that is,
That's his question.
okay.
The
So,
five
so,
questions.
so,
Yeah.
so that is currently being addressed.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let me just scroll back to the bottom and see. Someone said, where can we find Bill's contact information? And it is, yes, it is on the website in the directory, Stacy. This is, no, this is, husband worked in the pool business for years and converted theirs, and just to talk to you, he probably has some expertise as you're going to be investigating that. I think that was the offer with that. Okay. Who is it? Stacy C. I don't know that's all I've got. But they'll be reaching out to you, okay? And I think the other question, Stephen, if you could reach out, if you're here, if you're still there, to the board with your question. We didn't know what pool you were talking about. That was very early on. I think that might have been about somebody's individual pool. I don't know. Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on up. You're,
Good evening. For those that don't know me, I'm Pam Neville. My husband and I, we've been here 20 years. So and I've been on the board right after the developer turned it over to HOA. About 9 months ago, and I'm here to try to get a resolution, or at least a reasonable explanation. I've been working on this for 9 months. For those that know, we've got key cards that are distributed, and we've got fobs. When I was on the board, we had issued key cards, and then fobs were issued, and that was to replace these cards. It gave us access to both the gates and the amenities. It was easy to put in your pocket. If I have to go, someone come from out of the community, I was able to put this in my pocket and get into the gate. Anyway, so 9 months ago, I lost mine and I asked for a replacement. I paid $75 for a replacement. The fob that I got was not the replacement of my original one. This one only does the gates, but the amenities, so now I have to use this for the amenities and this for the gate, where my husband has one that solves the whole problem. And I was told that the fob with the amenity and the gate didn't exist. Well, I did some investigation and I called Carolina Times and they said, yes, we issue this for both the gate and the amenities. One has 1 chip, one has 2 chips. One's called this, the one with the 1 chip is a transmitter. The one with the 2 chip is called transpops. There's a little price difference, but my understanding is this costs us $40. You charge me $75 for it. And the other one is, well, debating what I was told is a different price than what you all pay from them. So anyway, so I've been asked, all I want to do is a replacement. That's all I've asked, for a replacement that does both. Some of the old timers have ones that have both. But this one, you're only issuing this. And it was like, well, this was ordered 3 years ago. Well, was it by mistake? Because if that's the case, you need to get replacement. And I don't see why I have to use this and this when I can just use one that gives both. And I've been in technology for 30 years. And just like the kayak launch, you don't take things away from people. If you've given somebody that, you don't take it away. that'll get you fired really quick for your user community. Anyway, so this too has some issues because this can be demagnetized. If you carry it around this long enough, this can be demagnetized. This one. Anyway, so all I've asked is that this be replaced. And then I get down the rabbit hole with what I've been told is that this now is only going to be issued to boat people.
That's correct, yeah. I could not, we're in a fold. I could not get my mother a fob who's got some challenges. I said, you didn't have a problem.
It's like, you can issue this, but you can't issue this.
They don't trust us, too. They don't trust us.
Well, let me tell you, when I was on the board, you got 2 of these. That's all we had. And then you got a third one for $20. The fourth one was $100 to eliminate everybody having 10 cards. I was trying to discourage people from having 10 cards. This was an extra amenity. You didn't get this, you bought it. It was $40. And you were limited to 2, unless you had a good reason. So I don't understand now you're going to say anybody going forward can't have this unless they own a boat.
So there's been a lot of change in 20 years. Okay, and so there's been a ton of change in 20 years. And when the Access project started in 23, I feel like they got into the database and Waccamaw had not done a good job. And I'm not going to point any fingers at any boards because it is hard as hell to manage all of this, right? And what we found was tons of people, not 1 or 2, but a large percentage of people with, to your point, 10 plus cards, multiple fobs, things that hadn't been done. And then we asked the community, and the number one thing was access to the community. We wanted to prevent people from getting in. I happen to know people who have given their fobs to their friends, right? Because they've admitted it. They're like, yeah, I just gave it to my friend so they can get in the neighborhood, right? And we wanted to turn that down. So what we decided to do was the last board, not this board, the last board, we were like, okay, how can we do this better? We want to encourage card use because the cards are so much cheaper. They do open everything. They open the pool. We were even talking about getting them on the pickleball court. They open this building. They open the gate versus the fobs weren't doing that, to your point. Now, I don't know who ordered those. Can't address that part of it, right? The other thing was the fobs are more expensive. And you're right. We heard the whole, like, how is she getting such a better price? I mean, we're buying them in bulk, right? Kind of thing. So that is a conversation that is also ongoing. We also decided that we wanted to encourage people to use the tag reader. So we actually have started for new homeowners giving 2 free tag readers for the car so that you don't have to get out here, so that your car automatically can come through the front gate because those little yellows.
The issue
right?
is when you're in a car that doesn't have a tag reader.
Right.
And you got to take this with you.
Look, I'm with you because my 84-year-old mother can't do it either, right? And
it was convenience. You don't stick your head out the window. You don't hold out the window. It's cold. It's rainy.
Right.
Whatever logic is, it's not reasonable in my opinion. And I think that this should replace this. You have 2 chips in here that does the amenities and the gate, and you can control that by system. I put in access systems. I know that. I can say whether you can have the clubhouse or the pool or the gate or this, you could do that. And it is a responsibility. It is a management nightmare. But if you want control, that's what you have to do.
So, I mean, I'm not saying we won't revisit it. I'm just saying these were the decisions that were made. I can feel your frustration and I understand your frustration, right? But at this point, and the decision was made in agreement with Boats and Docks about that would be the only place that that we would issue new FOPs for. And it's just the way things the motions come and get voted. So now you've brought this, we can revisit this. Matter of fact, we will meet right after that. So we will revisit it. That's not a promise that the policy will change.
If I can't get a replacement,
we will revisit it. For the $75 that you paid.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't blame you for that.
This is a useless one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you for your time.
Yes, and just to clarify, the reason we are issuing to boats and RVs is the tag readers, obviously, I mean, it's very difficult
that angle
to get into the angle in the boat dock Or if you're coming in a community and you've got an RV, the tag reader is so high that the unit doesn't recognize it.
Or if you're pulling something like a boat, you cannot get that close to the device.
All right.
So at that point, that's again, you're kind of being further away from the entrance at that, but that's the reason. The other thing y'all, the biggest thing about the fobs was so great, especially on the back gate. But as you notice, we've already put a tag reader system back on the back gate. So as long as you're a resident and you have your vehicle registered right there, you can drive in the back gate, drive in the front gate, never have to roll down your window. So we try to make that more flexibility for, especially people who live in the back parcels of the neighborhood coming that way.
Next,
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Luann? Luann, oh.
Did you want to address that? Yeah.
I'm Dennis Henson. I've been sober now. No. So we've been, what, about 19 hours or so, but you had a question about why so many boats are on the driveways. There was a theft, I don't know, 6 months ago or so. There was a bunch of fuel stolen. Tom had a $7,000 graph stolen. We were trying to work with the board to maybe put some cameras out there, but it's not working. I mean, we got cameras out the water park, but why do we have cameras at the water park when we can't get them out there? Do we know?
It's a cost over time. What it amounts to.
Nothing to be, no cameras.
Right.
But remember, the boat dock, the storage dock, it has, one, it's a limited amenity. That means not everybody in the neighborhood can use it. It's only available for 16% of the neighborhood. Okay, first of all. Second of all, from the beginning, that has always been a at your own risk place, okay?
Right.
So that didn't change. We are actually we have been, what are we doing? There's electric getting run out there, so it's not a done deal, but appreciate the fact that something got stolen. That doesn't mean it's okay to violate the rules of the neighborhood, right? Because it's not, right. It is not the association's responsibility to secure the boat.
And having a boat in the driveway is an eyesore.
Well, I personally, but BJ, the resident, I don't care. I'm pro owner. I park your damn boats in your driveway. I don't care. But as a board member, I have to adhere to the rules.
That's just why some of the boats are out there.
Yeah.
Of course, we've worked something out and we'll get it taken care of, but it just, other than that, there's some other issues like the pine needles out front. It looks like Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles did it. It's a patchwork quilt out there that wasn't finished. It looks horrible when you first come in.
I'm sure the grounds keep to have your help out there.
We've offered. We even said, you get the stuff and we'll put it out. Tom and I are working around.
Yeah, we did just approve. We did just approve pine straw to be bought.
But that was just brought up.
Okay.
The chairman of that committee actually brought up the idea about doing $1,000 for new pine straw to be put out.
I mean, we had some delivered.
We did.
in November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's delivered, but they only delivered half or 2/3 of what we needed. And we've even said, hey, they said it cost $8 a bundle for them to deliver it and put it out. Well, it's $5 a bundle if they just deliver it and we'll put it out. So we have the people to do the work, but we're just not getting the supplies.
Well, you heard the request.
That's the grounds.
Yeah, I mean, that's
not
grounds committee.
That fix things right.
Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah.
Lou Allen, you got
anything else?
people on Zoom?
Come on, if you're going to talk.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
No. Okay, 8:30.
I just give a little bit of just a commentary as a member. I hear a lot like, we have the money, so we should be able to do X, Y, and Z. We have the money, we should be able to do X, Y, and Z. well, there's a couple of problems just as a casual observer, somebody who goes through numbers. There's a statement on, don't look at the balance sheet. We're going to figure that out. And I commit on the financial committee, I'm going to wring their neck. They need to fix that. There's a duplication on the assets. Can't be the case. But I'm going to ask Mr. Scott Reed, because you're the only one I know who could answer this question. On the balance sheet, it shows ARC funds, and it says reserved. Are those funds, aside from what we might actually get from a builder after the fact, or any of those funds actually ours? Or do we have to return it to the builder, aside from at the end of the game where there might be, you know, a problem?
Goes back.
So
If we don't find.
exactly. So we're looking at it on the balance sheet as, well, we have the money. We have to restate that, because it's to anybody looking at that, it says reserved, but it's not, and it also doesn't show up as a liability. We owe it to them. It's a liability.
Shouldn't it be a separate account?
Well, yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, that's all good. Oh, no, they're handling it lovely. I should have prefaced with that. They're handling it lovely. They're using it to the best of our ability. But my point is, if we're looking at it to pay for the cameras that we're talking about, or, you know, the pine straw or the salt conversion of the pool, we actually need to understand that we owe the builders that money until such time as what little sliver of that they owe back to us. We're using it perfectly in the meantime, to the best of our ability, and it is separated. They're doing great.
Well,
it's going this way, it's going down.
So Dana, there is absolutely
legacy language issue. So like, one of the things I would love to see is for the committee, when, as you guys do this, come up with some new language, because the conversations of this is reserve, and that's wink, wink reserve. And that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Member,
yeah.
I want to help you guys out.
Yeah.
As a financial committee, I want to help you
Yeah.
guys out. I think that's a misnomer to everybody here, and Scott. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, just real quick too on that. So
the money that we have currently and the reserves from this coming year's dues payments, discounting, you know, we're gonna have to pay for the pool, obviously. But we're looking at, once we get the reserve funded for this year, about $2 million is what we'll have.
And that's in the reserve.
Which is, I mean, it's
Still
a
can't leave on it.
lot more than it used to be, but we're a ways away from where we need to be.
Right.
So, okay.
Do what? What do you mean? We're putting in, Dana, wasn't it
What?
30?
It is 37.7%. And the reason I know exactly.
Zoom can't hear you.
Zoom can't hear you.
I'll sit by Madam Secretary.
Now, the reserve study is interesting, because we don't actually have a legal requirement to have a reserve study. It is generally, at least right now, it is generally accepted that you'd be dumb not to have one. And it's certainly understandable. Here's the problem. We have two big assets that have two very big, different replacement possibilities. One is what you're standing at, right? Everybody owns their house, but the biggest thing that all of us would have to pay for is we're standing in it, aside from maybe the roads and damage and whatever. But the ramp, the boat ramp, is a massive asset to us. We have insurance for this building. We can't for the ramp. that will come out of our pockets. So the reserve study has to kind of look at, okay, if a storm wipes out this building, we have a percentage, which is a pretty high percentage, just depending on what it would cost and how bad the damage was, of getting some insurance money to help with the restoration. And at that time, we could expand it to our needs, which we'd like to do anyway, but is very costly. But the ramp, let's say that gets washed out. Well, if a commercial boat hits it, let's just say a big barge hits it, well, that's on them, right? We have some sort of financial recourse to them. Now, what about if the weather blows it away? Guess what we have? Guess what? Like somebody was saying, I don't know who it was, that you have to go through the EPA, DEP, all the riparian rights, North Carolina, whatever the state, all of that would have to come out of our pockets. To me, and I'm speaking for myself, those are two different animals. So the reserve study, is it static? Yeah. Does it change a little bit? Yeah. But the reality is you can't just go by a percentage. So I'm sorry to blah, 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 but that's the answer.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. All I know is don't lean on the pedestal. Yeah. Everybody. Tom and Dennis have done a great job putting the little post and the ropes around all the corners. My question is, what does everybody think? Should we paint them white to match what we have here and all our mailboxes? I mean, would they not look better white? That's my question.
Right now, if we decided that whatever it was, I'm probably gonna mess these numbers up, but we did 3 to start, and then we did 4 or 5 more, and we've said we're gonna take a pause. We're gonna wait 6 months-ish, see how badly they may be getting damaged or not, and then make an assessment about what the next step on those would be. So we kind of wanted to give it a little bit of life and then
They're hard to see at night.
I agree. Agree. When I leave here at 4
Yeah,
o'clock
they're hard to see.
when I leave here at 4 o'clock in the morning, I know what they are, but every once in a while I think it's a deer.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
That's just a question. I'm not saying you need to do it. I kind of wanted to get everybody's opinion because I think they would look a lot better myself to match the mailbox, match the incoming. You know. Yeah.
White or natural?
Oh, God.
Why the natural? Yeah, it's better. All right, white. Anybody else?
Anybody else? We got to keep talking.
All right.
When?
All right. Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming, and we appreciate the comments. Our next meeting, our next open meeting is March the 26th at 7 o'clock here, and officially adjourned.
8:44.
Thank you.
I believe that's the first time there's been a pause at the end of the board meeting. Can we take that? Who's